Hello everybody and welcome back. So today I'm going to make a block called, well, I don't know what it's called. Let's start here. So I bought this quilt builder card deck. It's 40 of them, 8 layouts, endless possibilities. There's actually 3 different box sets and I bought all 3, but we're just diving into the first one. So they're little cards and they have quilt blocks, and then if you flip them over, they have sizes for 6, 8, 10, 12, and a 36-inch block. And then in the back, these ones tell you how to use them. And then it gives you some layouts for different quilts and sizes. 1 point challenge, finishing width for binding. Tells you how to do half square triangles, which I've shown you. And then it gives you yardages for quilt squares. So anyways, I'm going to do a few of them, but for one, I'm going to do this one. It's called the Diamond Star. And we're going to do the 12-inch block. I wanted to do the 36-inch block, but that's pretty big. And we're not. So I just had this fat quarter bundle. I got it at the Sewing Box Quilt Shop. I think they have a website, but I'm sure you can find this. It's called Sweet Melodies. And I don't know who it's by. I do apologize. I have no idea. Because I didn't write it down. But all I got is from the Sewing Box. Or, yeah. The Sewing Box Quilt Shop. So anyways, it calls for 3 fabrics. And I chose these. And I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. So, for that, you're going to need... Let me move this. I covered up the sizes because I'm not going to give them all to you. Just the 12-inch one that we're making. Out of this one, you need... 4 3.5-inch squares and 1 7.25-inch square. So these will lay to the side. There are cornerstones. We'll move on to that later. And then the other 2, you're going to need 4 of each, and they're going to be 4-inch squares. So 4 4-inch squares of 2 different fabrics. Your other fabric is 3.5-inch squares, 4 of them, and 1 7.25-inch square. So let's move on. We're going to just jump right in here. We're going to turn, now I've already done 2 of them because I do like to be a little preemptive. We're going to turn another set of these into half square triangles. So we're going to just grab our little ruler here. Now if you don't have one of these, you don't need one. You can absolutely just lay this on the 1/4-inch line on the points. I had somebody say to me that they didn't have that, and I'm like, well, you don't actually need it. So we'll do it this way today. Line 1/4-inch on the points. You got your 1/4-inch line here and here. And I'm just using a regular pencil today because I don't know where my other one went. We're just going to draw a line down, and I leaned that in so it would go as close to it as possible. Then you're going to flip it around. You're going to do the same thing. And now if you've done your other one right, your 1/2-inch line will line up pretty close, or right, should be right spot on, but it'll probably be pretty close because again, this line's got to go in a little, so, but we'll take care of that issue too. So we're going to draw that down. That one's a little bit darker, but then we'll line these up and we'll pop a pin in them. Perhaps. This is actually, might be the first time I've sewn with quilt shop fabric. So, it's really soft. I can see why y'all like it. We're going to move this to the side, get it out of our way. Now, when I sew this, I'm going to sew just a hair on the inside of the penciled line on both sides to give myself a bigger triangle. Plus, again, when you laid your ruler down, it pushed it over a little bit, your line over a little bit. So we're just gonna head on over here to the sewing table, I started to say. We're just gonna line that up again, just on the inside of it. So straight down. And then I'm just gonna sew a little bit off and flip it around. and sew down this side again on the inside. Let me trim that. Alright, cut it off and let's head back over. Now I've found just recently that if I iron this a little bit before I cut it, it lays flatter when I cut it. So we're just going to lay this corner to corner and trim it straight down. I knew that did that. Now we'll iron them open, and I did iron them to the red fabric. No real reason why, just what I did. Let them open, set the seam. Now we're going to trim them down to 3.5 inches. To do that, we're going to line up with our ones in the corner here, and we're going to line that up on the diagonal line as close to these two edges as possible. You still want to trim a little off to shape up the sides, but you don't want to go too much or you won't have enough when you flip it around. Now you could always cut it at like 4 1/4 before you sew them together, and then you'll have room to work with, but that's up to you. All right, we got 3. Let's do one more. I'm sorry, I didn't tell you about the second one. So again, we're going to line up corner to corner. Or that's not what we're doing. We're lining up the diagonal. Yeah, corner to corner, but we're lining up the diagonal. And then when we flip it around, we're going to line up the diagonal again. And down here, we're going to line up our 3.5 inch point right there. And that should line up our 3.5 inch side there and there. And then we'll trim that off. And there we go. We got all of our half square triangles. Now we can put them together. And we're going to just form that. Hold on, I'll get it. Right there, I think. That's not right. Let's do it this way. Yellow, yellow. There it is. See? You just have to take a minute and lay it out. So now we're just going to sew these two together and these two. And if we iron them both to the red, or the same fabric rather, they're going to nest the seams very well there. Just going to lay that over there, and then I'll do the same on this one. I'm going to hold this one, so I'm just going to sew this one first because I can hold it since it's right there. Maybe. And then I have this seam guide. I just lay it right up against that. And then we'll take our other one, fix it back the way we need it. Oh, I had it this way, that's why it was. No, it goes, wait a minute, it goes this way. And I know that because I always put my bottom pin in angled like that. Where is, I'll just cut this one off. Head back over. I didn't have to cut those apart, but you know, it's easier for me to do it. And we're going to iron it to this red one instead of opposites, or instead of to the yellow even. right, now we're going to line it back up. And how I did that is I just looked at the darker yellow and I made that my yellow here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and I made sure it was right. And now you'll just fold this down. Right there like that. We're just going to fold it down and we're going to line up this seam. And again, if you iron them opposite, they're going to nest very well. And we'll put one in the end. And I'll just hold the beginning. It's a lot of bulk there. I guess I should have ironed them open, but I'm still not a fan of that. I do it on my tiny little blocks, but I'm really not a fan. Where my other ender went. Alright, let's head back over and we will iron it open. It's not the greatest, but it's good enough. Alright, lay that to the side. Next, we are going to do this one. So on this, you're going to cut this in half diagonally twice. So we're going to do this. Just line it up corner to corner. And then you're going to do it this way also. I went crooked on it. It's okay. I think I can make it work. See? Oh well, it'll be fine. Alright, so this is what I want you to have. Oh my gosh. It happens, guys. If I have to cut another one, I will. Then we're going to take these, all 4 of them, and cut them in half diagonally. If you're not comfortable doing them all at the same time, please don't. Just do them one at a time. It's not that much extra work. I already messed up that one, so really whatever. It's okay. It happens. If I have to cut another one, I'll cut another one. Always catches in the same spot. I changed my blade. I don't know if it's... Maybe it's the mat. I don't know. So now we're going to lay these out all the same. So we're going to stack them up just like this. And we're going to take all this dark yellow, put here, and the red here. And then again, the yellow. I said dark yellow because it's darker on that one. Here and here. So now we're just going to sew them together. So you're going to take it, let's just move one down. We're going to do all the yellow side first. And I'm going to line up the bottom. Wait a minute, no. Alright, just one second, let me think this out. Alright, so you're just going to lay this one. We're going to take them both over, lay it there. So 1/4 inch down. And I've cut my red and green blocks here a little bit bigger, so you'll have room to trim. So it will be alright if you're a little off. I only cut it 1/8 of an inch bigger. So you're going to want to try to be as accurate as possible. Got a little off on me there, but again, just a little. So I did pause the video. I did 2 of them just to be sure, because I have been known to make it wrong. So this is what I did. I sewed it just like I'm showing you, and it worked out. If there was something different, I promise you I would have told you. Iron these open. Now we're just going to put the red piece on. Just the same way. Head back over and iron that, or sew that on. You can pin if you're not comfortable just holding it. It's a pretty small piece for me, so I just decided I was going to just hold it in place there. Let's go back over. Cut them apart. Iron it open. I don't know. I like these fabrics together, but it's very busy. So now we are going to lay that to the side, and we're going to trim these. And these need to be 6.5 by 3.5. So when I did that, I can't find my smaller square, so we're going to have to use this big one. When I did that, I lined up my 3¼ inch point right here and my 3.5 inch line at the bottom, because that's where our starting base is. Well, sort of. So we're going to line, or we're going to trim this side and that one. And then we're going to flip it around, and we're going to do the same thing. 6.5 on this side now, 3.5 on the bottom, and our 3¼ inch line right there in the middle. Take your time, line it up. Trim just a little off the bottom there. And I noticed this needed just a little, so I'll line up my 3.5 inch there. Just a little off of that red. Very little. So there it is. Here's my other 2. And it didn't hurt at all that I cut that wrong a little in the beginning. I did use the same piece because it all worked out. So we're gonna, the 3¼ inch right there, and our 3.5 inch. Make sure there's at least more down there than you need. So what I do is I also line up the 1/4 inch line there. Make sure it meets at the point there with the 3¼ and then the 1/4 inch for the seam allowance. Otherwise we won't have our point when we sew it. We might not anyway, because, you know, well, you might, but I might not anyway. But it's still going to be beautiful. So 6.5, 3¼ 1/4 inch. Make sure it's all lined up and pretty. And there they are. So now all of our components are ready. And we just have to sew them together. So here's our middle. Oh, whoops, well, if you got that, you got that. Here's our middle. Then we're going to line these up. The blue is going to face out. Oh. Do y'all see what I did? I put those on the wrong side. This isn't going to be the right block. I'm going to have to redo something. Or we're making a whole different block. So it's not what that is, but I like this. However, It's not the block we're making. So what are we going to do? We're going to rip a couple seams. We'll see when I was putting them down, I saw this was with this. And since I was laying it like that, I put it on that side. Not a big deal. Not a big deal at all. And if you like that block, go ahead and make that one. But we don't have to, but this one was, my point didn't line up anyway, so maybe this will work out better for me. All right, and then we'll rip these out. It's really nothing to cry about. It's not ideal, but it's fixable. And we're not going to waste any fabric. We're just going to turn these around. And actually, I could have done it with just the two. I may have done it all wrong. All right, I'm going to rip this out and I'll be right back. You don't need to watch me do that. Okay, so I got it ripped out. I laid it out. I did it right. I thought these were all the same, but then I had to questioning it because, you know, you have to pay attention to your placement, okay? Pay attention to your placement. So now we just have to resew our middle block together. So we're just going to fold this over and pin down here. If you're not making mistakes, I really applaud you. But I make mistakes, and I like to show you how to fix them. So really, this one wasn't even a bad one. You just had to rip out some seams. We're going to sew this one down. I'm going to just start it so I'm on the right side. And then we're going to just pin this one real quick. And I'm going to pop a pin in the side I'm going to sew. And then let's head over. I also like to show you the real thing because you know, if you keep messing up, you might get discouraged, but everybody messes up. Right, let's iron this to the red. And you're going to sew up all these sides anyway, so even though I stitched there already, it's not a problem because it's going to be hidden again anyway. And maybe I'll do better this time. So now, since we already, well, not we, me, already messed up once, I'm going to lay it back out. And I'm going to make sure yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red, yellow, red. And then these form a pinwheel. So we're just going to fold this down. Actually, I am going to iron these seams open since I have a second chance. I can't iron them open. I might have to do some editing. So we're going to pin this here. It'll be fine. If I wanted to iron them open, I would have had to have already done that. I'm not going to edit it, you guys. This is what you're going to get. I like to keep it real. Sometimes I think I can do something and then I can't. And if I can learn it for us, isn't that the best thing? If you slow down there, it doesn't, like going into that seam, it won't jam up as much. All right. Let's see if we've done it right this time. Let's head back over. Iron it open. Lined up pretty good that time. So now we're going to lay it back. And we're going to put our cornerstones in. Our corners, our points, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Right there. So now we're just going to sew them together. These two, and these two. And I'm just going to grab it from the sewing machine and sew them down. I'm not going to go back and forth. So if you want to just head over with me. The next one, however, has this seam, and I'm going to make sure this point right there lays down right on the point there, and hopefully that works out for me. It might not, but it might. And I'm going to pin at the end, since this one is different. I'm actually going to sew it from this side though. Because that one's a little extra and I should have trimmed it. Let's go trim it. Let's trim it. It's fine. So see how it's just over a hair on some of them? I'm just going to trim it even. So right there, I'm going to line up my straight line there with my sewn line, my seam line we'll call it, out there. And slice it so it's even. And we're going to do that all the way around. That one's good, this one's not. Now, let's put it back down, see how it was supposed to go. Yep, just like that. So now we're going to take it back again. I am going to flip it. I want to do it from this side. I'm going to line it up right there and put a pin in that. And then one at the end. And I'm just going to hold the beginning. I'll go slow and try to go right over the point there where the threads meet. Grab our next one. Cut off the first one and grab our other corner. Now we'll do the middle one again. I'm going to take those pins out. Grab it, and we're going to pin it from this side. I'll try to get a better light here. I like this angle better for the camera, so I will try to get a better light. And then we'll pin the back, the end rather, and then I'm just going to hold the front because it's just going right through there anyway. then our last row. Let's grab our corner. Let's go iron them open and see what we're looking at. So let's see, the middle, not bad. We're going to iron the middle pieces to the middle, even though there's more seams. Not bad. Not bad. We're going to iron these to the little square piece. It's busy, but I think I'm going to make it a table topper. It's a little one, but I have a little table, so then we're going to lay this out. We're going to pin this, but again, oh no, I wanted to pin it from this side. So we're going to line up our point there in the middle with our middle seam. I'll put a pin in it there. And then I'll go to our other seams. Pin there. And one in the end. And we'll flip it around, as will we flip this around and do the same thing on this side. Pinning at the point here first. And then the seam. And the last seam. And the end. All right, let's go sew it up. Next side, we're almost done. All right, let's see what we've got. That one did pretty well. I like it. I like it. Not sure how the rest are, but that one's beautiful. these fabrics. All right. So this one's a little over on the edge here. Not really a big deal. We'll just trim it off, square it up, so to speak. There we go. The rest of them look pretty good. All right, there it is. I do like it. A little busy. Let me know what you think. Maybe I should have used 2 reds, or 2 yellows, done that and that. Maybe I'll do that. I don't know. Let me know what you think. I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you make it and love it. And I will see y'all next time. Have a great day.